Hey, welcome back to the 5-Minute Strategist. As we roll with this creativity that we feel in summer, as we disengage our brains a little from the day-to-day, I wanted to remind you that being creative in your business is not necessarily just about having new ideas. It's really hard to come up with something new. Everything has probably been discovered and pitched. So thinking I have to come up with this great new thing can put a lot of pressure on you. Instead, let's expand that kind of definition and think about it as not just new ideas, but also how can you solve problems in a new way? How can you do something in a different format rather than just, oh my gosh, I don't have any new ideas. People have already thought of everything. I'm just not creative. Think about some of the disruptive brands that we have out there. Apple, it's technically just a computer or a laptop. There are so many other brands out there, but they are creative in how they deliver that experience to us. And it doesn't always have to be Apple. Think about like a Warby Parker who went, you know what? I'm going to send you the glasses so you can try them on at home rather than having to go into a store. They just changed the experience for the customer around a very traditional business. So allow yourself to think about how you can differentiate yourself by doing something different, as well as what new ideas do I have. This is how we make sure that we are evolving. So this is great. We're going to reimagine what's possible for our customers and in our industry. But how do we actually find that thing? Well, with most things that are offer and customer related, we're going to start with them. What's happening in the market? What are your customers telling you? What are you seeing in their behavior? What are they telling you they're frustrated about? Where can you see something that your competitors are all doing and the one thing that none of them are doing? So you're going back to that traditional research, but instead of looking at what is it telling me about what I do now, you're looking for where are the gaps in what you do, in what others do, and what the market is asking for. Then you want to go, okay, how can I brainstorm around that? This is where you want your team to be involved, because the more diverse perspectives you have coming at a problem, the more creative and innovative and unexpected ideas you're likely to have. If everyone thinks exactly like you, they're only going to have the ideas that you have. Instead, you want people coming up with something that you would never have thought of that you can then bounce off of and other people can bounce off of. One of the things people get wrong at this stage is when you're in that brainstorm mode, the idea is to have as many ideas as possible without evaluating them. So when you're brainstorming, this is the creativity one. This is the Sharpies on paper and the whiteboard on the wall stage. This is not the that would never work because stage. Have fun with it. And then also remember to look outside of your industry. There's a really interesting case study where the medical field borrowed from the aviation field. If you've ever watched pilots, they walk around the plane before takeoff. They're going through a list, making sure that they've checked everything. Then they're in the cockpit and they're doing the same thing. The flight attendants are doing the same thing. There's a specific set of safety protocols that they have to follow. And the medical field noticed that they were having a lot of mistakes. And so they borrowed from the aviation field and they built in those safety checklists. Now, that might not sound like the sexiest creativity to you, but it saved lives. So don't always be looking for the sexy. You can look at the how you do stuff, even if it feels unsexy, as creativity. And then once you have all of these ideas and you kind of pick one and you think this is interesting and I want to explore it, this is where you get to experiment. You can test it. If it's a service, you're maybe doing a beta offer. If it's something more physical, like a planner, maybe you've got a prototype and you're testing them and getting feedback and tweaking it again and getting feedback. And on the one hand, this allows you to validate your idea before you invest loads of time and money in it. But on the other hand, with iteration, you get to add a little sprinkle of creativity every time you iterate. This is the fun part, right? Experimentation is taking away some of that risk. This is a trial and error and iterate process. It's not a pass-fail process. This is not a school project that you either get an A or an F. One of the things I think we find so frustrating about trying to be creative is that it's unpredictable. You don't know where inspiration is going to come from. But what if we reframe that? You never know where inspiration could come from. How exciting is that? So how are you building creativity into the development process for your next offer, iteration, or innovation?